Warning, this video contains very ugly babies.
Looking at this painting, you may be thinking, wow, that is a really good depiction of a small old man. Well, it's actually meant to be a baby. So now you're probably thinking, wow, that is a really creepy bad depiction of a baby. Subscribe to I'm sorry, what? I swear I didn't tell him to say that. But it's not just this one. There are thousands of paintings from the medieval era where all the babies look like they are about to scold you and give you a lecture beginning with, "Back in my day." But why? Why are all these babies so ugly? Well, it isn't because there was some disease during the Dark Ages making babies ugly, and it also isn't because they were bad at art, because they were very intentionally painted like this. The real reason behind these frightening fetuses, as with many things that came out of the Dark Ages, centres around the church. In the Middle Ages, when these Benjamin Button paintings were being made, it cost quite a lot to commission paintings, and when paintings were commissioned, they weren't typically used on babies. There was, however, one very wealthy institution that wanted a lot of art: churches. Now, if you've ever been to a church, you'd know their subject matter for their art is pretty narrow, and in terms of biblical babies, the selection is even less. So most of these depictions are of Mary and the baby Jesus. The reason why he looks so old is because of a term called homunculus, which is a Latin word that literally means little man. And it's this idea that became really popular back then, that Jesus was born perfectly formed and unchanged. So while he is a baby, he still was all-knowing and simultaneously a god. And this was depicted through painting him as a baby crossed with an old man. And because of this idea that the churches wanted to promote, that Jesus never changes and came out of the womb a mini man, this was the art they were buying. And because they were the biggest commissioner of the paintings, artists began catering and changing their style to suit them. So now we have this chain effect where we've gone from just the baby Jesus being depicted with a receding hairline and abs to all babies across Europe being painted this way, as artists changed and honed their style. And once everyone began to do it, it was just seen as the right way to paint babies, similarly to the early 2000s, where everyone convinced themselves that jeans under dresses was a good look. And just when we thought it was all doom and gloom, babies forced to look like overweight junior soccer coaches forever, the Renaissance descended upon Europe. During this time, the average person began to afford portraits of their own children, and shocker, people wanted their babies to look like actual babies. So the style began to slowly morph. The idealism of the Renaissance movement changed art as a whole. While in medieval art there was a lot of expressionism, meaning paintings reflecting ideas and feelings, the Renaissance was more about depicting things as they are actually seen, meaning cute babies! And it's pretty much stayed that way. Nowadays, babies are bright-eyed and rosy-cheeked, and let's hope it stays that way, because I don't think I could handle having this hanging in my house.